You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, 3rd day of May, 2018. This is what it looks like in a post-Fed world where 94.3% of the population believes that the Fed is going to raise interest rates by 1/4 of a percentage point, and they don't. Rates unchanged, market falls apart. Boy, we're going to have to dig deep into this one today. Am I right? Hey, welcome back. Whoever you are, wherever you are, thanks for joining us today. So glad you did. If you're coming back, or if you're returning, welcome back. And if you're here for the first time, a special welcome to you. We're glad to have you with us. We're in our 13th year of broadcast history. That's 2 decades. Well, we're in our 2nd decade. And grab your day planner. Pencil this in for number 3. In fact, write it in ink, why don't you? Yeah, there you go. Ink us in. All right. I've got a chart up of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. If you cannot see it, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. In 30 seconds, you'll be registered all the way through the end of the month, and that means you get one-click access to the show every day, the discussion, the charts, the chat box. You get it all. All right? As a backup, always keep bookmarked youtube.com/CFRN/live. We send out dual streams, redundancy it's called, in case one ever lets us down. Okay? So, you want to talk trash about Amazon for a minute? Who doesn't? A former Amazon warehouse worker described being stopped in his tracks by an awful smell emanating from the trash cans. The stench, he said, was unmistakable and led him to one conclusion. His co-workers were so worried about taking too long on a bathroom break that they had resorted to urinating in the bin. Now, we've heard this story before. Remember the journalist in the UK who went undercover at some of the lowest paying jobs in the UK to see what it was really like, and he sure fell in love with Amazon, didn't he? So we heard the whole story of employees, going to the bathroom in bottles so they would not fall behind on their production schedule, etc. Now, these comments are coming from just an everyday... Now, this guy, he admitted in the article that was shared and in his report that the only way he was able to survive was knowing that at any moment he could just stand up and walk out, because he had a different job. He was a journalist. He was there undercover. Well, the comment I just read to you is from an actual Amazon warehouse worker, someone who obviously is working there because he couldn't find a journalist job or any other job that paid well and maybe had some benefits. Now, in his comments, he says, I never witnessed anyone in the act, but I have witnessed the aftermath. In 3 instances, I noticed an awful smell, pinpointed the location, trash bins that are scattered throughout the multi-tiered mezzanine, and I reported it. From what I heard afterward, camera evidence got those associates fired. Really. These people are peeing in bottles, peeing in trash cans, pardon the French, in bottles and trash cans so that they don't fall behind on their production schedule, running in a warehouse where the signs clearly say no running, but they say they have to run and not go to the bathroom in order to get their work done in the amount of hours they're allowed to work. But yet, when the eye in the sky spots them in the act doing what they have to do to keep their job, according to the eyewitness accounts we have, they get fired. Jeff. Now, you know what? We've talked enough trash about Amazon. Let's move on. What do you say? In fact, let's talk about who remembers UNICEF. What happened to UNICEF? When I was a kid, UNICEF was like the big thing. We had, I think there was UNICEF and March of Dimes. Now, I think UNICEF dealt with all children around the world, and March of Dimes dealt with children who, well, we haven't known polio in our generation, have we? Hang on. Let me do some investigative journalism of my own. March of Dimes. There we go. Pops right up. Let's see what it says. The March of Dimes is a United States nonprofit organization that works to improve the health of mothers and babies by preventing birth defects, premature birth, and infant mortality. Okay, very good. I think the March of Dimes had a poster for a long time of a young boy on crutches with leg braces. So now let's do the UNICEF. The United Nations, UN, UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, is a United Nations program headquartered in New York City that provides humanitarian and developmental assistance to children and mothers in developing countries. Okay, well, we resemble that remark, right? That's one of the things we do. And when I say we, I'm talking me and you. So why do I bring up UNICEF this fine day? Well, let me tell you. UNICEF Australia has launched a platform through which third-party donations are made in the form of in-browser computing power, which is used for cryptocurrency mining. In other words, if you want to make a donation to UNICEF, you don't have to write them a check. You can just go to this web page, leave your computer on while you go shopping at Walmart or wherever, and they will use your computing power that you're not using through their browser, through their cloud mining, to mine for cryptocurrency. Now, Sony and many other companies have been found guilty of doing this without your knowledge. But the UNICEF folks have spun this thing around and said, hey, we want to do it. Will you let us? UNICEF Australia has launched what's called the home page. Well, that's what it's called. You probably want to know what it looks like, don't you? You're very curious. I'll show you. Give hope just by being here. This website uses some of your computer's processing power to, oh, and I just got a malware warning, website blocked due to riskware. I got to close this page pretty quick. This website uses some of your computer's processing power to automatically generate funds for UNICEF Australia. UNICEF works in some of the world's toughest places to save children, protect their rights, and help them fulfill their potential. I guess if you click here, that's when it starts mining, but according to malware, it's already tried. By clicking this button, you consent to have your browser mine cryptocurrency, and to donate to UNICEF Australia, you may need to disable your ad blocker and refresh the page to continue. So I guess they're trying to say here that currently at this moment 8,206 people other than us are visiting this page. How it works. Yeah, you know what? Malwarebytes already warned me. I'm going to get out of there. But it's at thehomepage.org. Got to put the word "the" in there. Thehomepage.org. Obviously encouraging everyone to set that as their home page. Get it? Some pretty clever folks over there at the UNICEF. The website states that users select how much computer power they are willing to donate to the mining, safe in the knowledge the process will not store any personal information, adding that the longer you stay on the page and the more processor power you donate, the more algorithms get solved, which earns cryptocurrency. Just think, you could leave your computer on while you go on vacation. UNICEF Australia Director of Fundraising and Communications, Jennifer Tierney, said we wanted to leverage new emerging technologies to raise awareness about current humanitarian crisis and raise funds to support children caught up in them. The homepage allows Australians to provide help and hope to vulnerable children by simply opening the page while they are online. I got to tell you, this is pretty clever. The platform utilizes auth-to-bind, an opt-in version of CoinHive's API, which was released by the company in order to fend off criticism of its product and to justify seeking lenient treatment from ad blockers and antivirus products. UNICEF has advised that donors may need to disable their ad blocker in order to use the homepage. UNICEF Australian Digital Engagement and Content Manager Tony Tang told local media that some ad blockers do disable the script. However, we ask that people that seek to donate disable this for our website. This is not dissimilar to media and news outlets requiring you to disable ad blockers to view their content. While it has potential to limit some users, we are still capturing new audiences we would not otherwise be able to reach. UNICEF initially did not disclose that it was using OftMine for the homepage, with Mr. Tang stating that the organization chose not to do so, such in the same way we don't disclose server setups or configurations. No, I think it's a lot different. Mr. Tang defended the transparency of the platform, stating, "We are transparent in the fact now that we are borrowing a computer's processing power and provided the ability to choose how much power is donated. The donation is a one-time session and needs to be approved by the user each time they visit the site. The homepage is entirely user-initiated, and they have the ultimate power to decide whether to participate or not." Back in February, UNICEF launched the Game Changers program, through which the organization sought to recruit gamers to allocate processing power to mine Ethereum on behalf of UNICEF. According to UNICEF Australia, funds raised through the homepage are currently being allocated to support the organization's efforts in responding to the crisis in Rohingya. At the time of this article being written, 2,303 people were actively donating processing power through the platform. Oh my, I won't be able to sleep tonight, will I? I won't want to sleep, will I? Okay, enough of that. Let's take a look at the numbers around the world, see what's really going on the blue marble. We're going to start with the cash markets. We're going to start here in the U.S., where it's a blood in the streets. All right, cash markets. Dow Jones Industrial down 267 points, a little over 1%. NASDAQ down 73, a little over 1%. S&P 500 down 27, almost 28, and that's a little over 1%. The Russell 2000 is down 11.5, and that's 3/4 of 1%. And we keep the Well, how about that? All right, crude oil's off 2 cents, trading 67.91 last. Gold adding, I think for the first day this week, $8.10, trading 13.70 last. And that gain is a little bit over 0.5%. In the Asian markets today, the Nikkei fell 35 points by the close. Shanghai was up 20. And for the Shanghai, that's a little over 0.5%. Hang Seng dropped 410 points, which is over 1.25%. Last but not least, Europe's red. Not as red as we were, maybe, but it's red. The FTSE off 40 points, over 0.5%. The DAX down 112, almost 1%. And the CAC down 27.5, exactly 0.5%. Wow. Is it possible that the only green I see on my screen is the Shanghai Exchange, the Shanghai Index up 20 points? Double checking, stand by, still checking. Yeah, that and gold, the only green on my screen. Wow. Okay, the chart I have up, S&P 500 Emini Futures. Last night when we sent out the Concierge Trade Alerts, and you know what? Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Take your screenshot now if you want to grab a screenshot. These are the alerts that went out last night, and we'll be talking about those throughout the program. Michael is on his way in to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room today. I'll just point out that on the S&P, yeah, that's not 333. Let's try 33. See if that'll work. Yeah. In the Concierge Trade Alert last night, we said to consider selling 26.23 if the opportunity presented. Well, the first drop took us down to the low. Tell me. 17. All right, so that's 6 S&P points right there. Now, important prices in important areas are almost always tested. So price goes right back up, gets right back above that trigger, and it drops all the way down to 25.91 and change. You know what? The low actually 20.90, 1.25. I just rounded it up and called it 93 because I could do that math in my head. 93 and 30 makes 623. There. Now we got it. And we did not trigger on the long side. The swing high was 36.25. I take that back. Was I sorely mistaken? I was. We did trigger. Yes. Stand by. Still checking. Now, I'll position this just right. 26.34. Thought I measured that a minute ago. Apparently didn't do a very good job of it, did I? Okay. Well, this is the truth about trading. Sometimes you get stopped out. I know that a lot of folks don't want to own up to that, but yeah. Okay, so 26.24, 26.34, and we put in a swing high there at 26.36.25. Wow. You know, we always said you could just take 2 points a day out of the S&P. Well, there's 2.25 right there. That little wick. Sometimes we work for hours to catch that 2-point move, and here it's more of an afterthought or something. So if you got stopped out on this one, well, that's okay. This one gave you ample opportunity to make up for it. So that will do it for me for now. I'll be back. Lots more to share. We'll be talking to John. As far as I know, I haven't emailed him yet, but in fact, I haven't checked my email. Hey, Michael.
Hey, excuse me. Hey, Dwayne. Okay.
So, how are you?
I am okay. We had a good morning this morning.
Well, you've had a few of those there this week, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Ain't you?
It's been, ain't you?
My wife's always like, don't say that in front of the kids. They'll think it's okay. It's not.
It's not a word.
What is, yeah, go ahead.
I think it is actually a word now. I think it's probably in the dictionary now.
Yeah, probably. Yesterday, guys, I ran this weekly chart here of the Bitcoin. And as I perfectly drew that trend line, because I participated in the Drawing Trend Lines with Bert seminar a number of years ago, which you can too. Just Google CFRN, Drawing Trend Lines with Bert, B-U-R-T. So we have closed above this weekly trend line and waiting to see now if there'll be a Trader Vic as there was over here on this monthly chart. Now remember, Michael, last month we were talking about the fact that some things had happened here and we thought the price would come back to that 38% retracement and hit the BBC.
And hit the BBC.
Well, we closed the month, with a doji, and
No, we didn't get down that low.
And now the next candle, so like we said, it could take a couple, 3 months for this thing to work itself out. But one of two things will happen, guys. We will pull back to the BBC, which is what I believe is the highest probability thing based on all that we know. Or we'll break this trend line and go put in another leg. Let me mention, it has been, you all know what a bearish cross is, and you'll learn even more as Michael shows you what happened in the training room today. But we've not had a bearish cross on the S&P monthly in over 5 years. The reason I say over 5 years is because this platform won't allow me any more data. See, if I scrunch it, it'll take me back to June of 13. So, you got any other platform running, Michael, that'll take you back further?
I don't have one running, but I know I
with the
can go back
indicators?
further.
Yeah. Well, I have a platform that'll take me back there, but I don't have the indicators. So.
Well, I think I have the indicators and everything, but I
Okay.
don't have it running right now.
Oh, which reminds me, I was supposed to do this yesterday. I got to get a hold of Stan or the other guy at TradingView to see if they have
The range
brought us
charts.
the range charts yet. Yeah, because they definitely.
But they said, didn't they say in an email? I think I said this yesterday. I'm not sure. I think my mic might have been off when I said it. Didn't they say in an email that they're not allowing any new indicators? I thought that's what they said in an email.
Oh no, I didn't. Maybe they did,
Yeah.
but I didn't
I'm
see
pretty
it.
sure I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
So, did it come to support?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'll research that because I don't know why. Well, it doesn't matter. But I don't think that'll change. Okay, well, so in other words, they're not allowing any more indicators to be sold through their indicator store?
Correct.
Okay.
So we would have to sell them some other way.
Well, we could sell them from our website, and then they could just come here and use. Well, that does make things complicated.
Therein lies the rub.
Yeah, rub-a-dub-dub. Well, we've figured out tougher things than that. So, I just want to see that email. You don't have to wait on me, though. If you want to go ahead and get going,
Okay.
you can.
All right. Then I'll take stuff over and start showing what I got to show. All right.
It seems like, let me move this and open it up. There you go. Well, all I've got from them are payment receipts. Damn, how long I've been paying them?
Hang on a sec. My webinars. Here we go. We'll go there. And then click there. Okay.
Maybe I can Google it.
Here we go.
All right. Let me hit mute on my end, and it's all yours.
Okay. Here we go. So everybody can see my charts. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 3rd day of May, 2018. Let's see. Today, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage here at cfrn.net. And right up here at the very top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room. 100% free trial. User indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit that submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that confirmation link, we do not know that you took the free trial. So you must click on that confirmation link. All right. All right. That's how you take the free trial with us. Now, the spreadsheet, well, that's a whole other can of worms here. Well, it's not really a can of worms. It's a whole other issue. The spreadsheet. Hang on, still working up there. There we go. If you're going to look at the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. All right, I have to say that every single day that I show the spreadsheet. Okay, today, as I said, is Thursday, the 3rd day of May, 2018. We got 3 ticks on the euro, 16 ticks on crude, and 22 ticks on the ES. That got us up to 493.75 on the morning. 493.75. So we started off the week with that 325. Then we got 270, 107, and 493. So we're not having a bad week. Today, it took 28 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $130 a contract. And we took a total of 13 trade opportunities today. Okay, so on the month now, we're up $871. That's over 3 days. And so far, we're averaging $290 per day. On the year, we're up $14,522. That's over 82 days, averaging $177 per day. Okay, $177 per day. All right, let's go and see what we did here this morning. I'm trying to come and see what we did here this morning. All right, on gold. This first one on gold, we got 3 ticks profit right here. It was a bounce off the BBC. the second one right over here, we got 1 tick profit. That put us at +4 on gold. It got really flat. Look at all those wicks on the top and bottom. It got really flat for like an hour right there. And then it gave another long opportunity off the BBC right here that we missed. And during the break, it gave a short opportunity right here off the BBC. Okay. That was gold. Now the euro. We missed a shorting opportunity right here around 10 o'clock. We ended up, what did we get on the euro? We ended up with a break even here. We missed a shorting opportunity there. Both of those trades that we missed were winning trades, by the way, or profitable trades. We got 3 ticks profit on this. It didn't put in a higher swing. Then during the break, a bounce off the BBC right there. A close above the trend line and the MA1 would be a momentum trade right there. And that was it during the break. Okay, so we ended up with 3 ticks profit on that one. Crude, let's see, on crude. Okay. On the crude, this shaded area is an area that I highlighted. It was from Tuesday afternoon. I highlighted it yesterday at about 10:15, and it's like a magnet all week. So if you guys, I mean, the shaded area is from 67.44 to 67.47, 46. Anyways, just a couple of ticks in the middle right here, and price is just drawn to that area. Okay. Anyway, this morning our first trade on crude was right here. We picked up 10 ticks. The second one was right here. We picked up 2 more to get us at +12. We missed that one, which was profitable, and we grabbed this one. We got 4 more on this to get us to +16. During the break, not really much of anything there during the break. Okay, not really much of anything during the break. Okay. I really messed up here on the ES at one point this morning. I mean, we ended up with +22 on the ES, so we were okay with it, but I really messed something up. Right here, there was a long trade that we missed. Then we grabbed this one for +8 ticks. We missed that. I'm sorry, we got a break even there. We got this for +2 ticks. Then this one, so that put us at +10. Then we picked up another 8 ticks here to get us to +18. And then this one right here, I put it on and I totally went off and did something. I wasn't paying attention. And it went all the way up here. And then when I realized it was all the way back down here, I only got 4 ticks out of that. So I think the entry was here at 99, I think is where I entered. And it ran all the way up to 5.5, so I had 6.5 points. And I ended up getting 1. Then we had another break even right after it right there. Okay, but the ES has been pretty volatile today. So there's been some good opportunity. During the break, there was a bounce off the BBC right there for that leg up. A bounce off the BBC right here would have been a break even. And you can see right now it's starting to run again. Okay. Okay. That was it. That was our morning. We ended with +22 on the ES. Now, scroll back up. We'll go with the spreadsheet one more time. Again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you're all CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We made 3 ticks on the euro, 18 ticks on crude, 4 ticks on gold, and 22 ticks on the ES. Today it took 28 minutes and 2 trades to get to the goal for the day, and we took a total of 13 trades. So on the month now we're at 871.25. That's over 3 days, averaging 290 per day. And on the year, we're at 14,522. That's over 82 days, averaging 177 per day. 177 per day. Okay. Now, let's see. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at cfrn.net And right here at the top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room, 100% free trials, user indicators, learn a strategy. Click here. When you click there, or if you click down here at apply.cfrn.net, or if you click down here at free 5-day trial, you'll be sent to this page. All right, on this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. All right, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know you took the free trial. Okay? Okay. That's it, guys. With that, I am going to pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain City Park. And Dwayne is at the window.
Here's Dwayne.
There's Dwayne at the window, taking care of business. Why do I not see that? There we go.
That's very disturbing.
That's disturbing.
Well, I mean, you know, not real disturbing, but
Moderately disturbing.
yeah, that's how I would call it. Moderate. No, it's not disturbing at all. I just wanted to, you know me, I'm always trying to do something.
In moderation.
Always in the background. Just okay, sharing. Yeah, gotta give you take the charts. Recap of the recap.
Today it took 28 minutes and 2 trades, and we were at 130 per contract at that juncture.
28 minutes and
2 trades.
2 trades.
Mm-hmm.
You rascal, you. Can I do that?
I see your charts.
You do. Yes, you
I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do. I see a monthly ES chart.
Yeah, and not much more we can say about that at this point, I suppose. I do want to. I told you guys I was going to work on something yesterday, and goodness, I wouldn't want you to think I did it. I want it open. Oh, there it is. Remember I told you I had to make a proper logo for the new site? That I just had a place, what they call a placeholder in place.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Da, 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 da.
That's for ChristianCryptocurrency.com. And when I'm done today, over here on the right above the scrolling ticker, which is right here, in this area. Yeah, I made that too small. I had to go back and make it mo bigger. Anywho, right here, it's going to say, should Christians buy, trade, or invest in cryptocurrency? And then right here, we're going to have a place where, like a poll. You've heard of those polls. I couldn't get the Rasmussens to come do it. Asked John to call him, but he wouldn't. And so we're going to just use a graphic poll. And when you Google Christian cryptocurrency, you will find that question always pops up on the front page. And so I thought, you know what? It deserves a website that addresses the question. So people can come and go, no, I'm religiously uptight and I don't think you should. Or other people can come and say, our church accepts it as tithes and offerings. So it'll be interesting to see what the discussion is and what sort of answers we get. So anyway, that's just me. Staying busy, making stuff. You know, back in the day, you know, Dad, he would go into the garage and he would putter around and he would make Mom some kind of ugly thing for Mother's Day. Oh, Lord. This is my puttering. This is my power puttering right here. Now, someone told me that was a rather outstanding logo, and they have a background in that field. So
that is a very nice logo.
Well, thank you. I did purposely bring that up, looking for a pat on the back. So I thank you, sir. Well, I thank you very much.
There's your pat. I just patted. That is an outstanding logo.
Thank you, sir. Well, even the little guy is not bad, except it's too small. But I won't bore you with all that. Hey, I never did find that email, but I'm going to call them this afternoon anyway to talk about he never answered my last email. So it could be he forgot it. Could be he never saw it. Could be he doesn't know the answer.
Could be any one of those.
Okay, Ether just hit its highest price level since early March, according to Ethereum's also under assault. They don't really think it's going to go anywhere. But some guy's trying to say that Ethereum, unlike everything else, is a security. But then the argument goes on. It says, well, even if Ethereum is, all of the tokens that have been created off of that blockchain, you know, aren't if they pass the Howey test. And so the price of Ether, the cryptocurrency native to the Ethereum blockchain, broke above $750 today, reaching its highest level since March 8th, according to CoinDesk data. Ether
I just sent
climbed
you that email.
by over 9% in the space of 24 hours, briefly breaking above $752. Price is roughly $746 at the time of writing. Well, let's just see. Well, let's just see about that. Okay. Now, if I want to keep that chart, I think I go back here and I type in ETH USD. I call up an interactive chart. And I preserved that chart. And I'm getting a new chart. And let's go daily first. Okay, yep, definitely looks like a fresh high there. Let's go. Oh, well, that's Ether. So Ether's at an all-time high. Yay, go Ether. Now, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, which prompted me to do as I'm known to do sometimes. I put out a tweet, and I think I tweeted it, but I know for sure I put it for all you guys on the Google Plus blog. And hopefully everybody caught that post the other day that teaches your Gmail. You can program your Gmail. Every time an email comes from this address, send me a text message on my phone. If the subject line contains this keyword, or even if the email contains this keyword, send me a text. You can tell it all kinds of things, and it will send you a text message per the rule that you write on your phone. That's pretty cool, huh?
That is pretty cool.
And it's a free service from Google, so I was very happy about that.
Google's got lots of cool toys, like Batman.
Yeah. Okay. BTC Futures. Consider being long 93.10 if the opportunity presents. So let us endeavor to find 93.10.
My chart's hanging up.
93. It's going to be in here somewhere. Yeah. 93.35. 93.10. Okay. So here's what it said, guys. BTC Futures, consider being long 93.10 if the opportunity presents. Target 93.45 and then 94.60. Okay, 93.45. Okay, so we just hit the first target, I guess. 93.45. No. 93.45 is way back here. Bella. 93.45. Okay, and then the second target, and this is on the Google Plus page. I think it's on Twitter too. 94.60 was the second target. 94.60. Now, Michael, did you toss and turn last night figuring out how to price this thing?
I absolutely tossed and turned. I was tossing and turning until, I don't know, probably 7 a.m.
Hey, how come Bert won't come on and help us?
Bert helped me yesterday.
I'm going to ask him right now. I'm going to say, Bert, get up in here, please.
And by the way, Bert's doing a meeting this afternoon. Let me see.
Can you pop on the radio show real quick? Question mark. We'll see. We'll see about that. Okay, buy 93.10. Okay. Oh, and John's ready if you would open his mic.
Yeah, John is here. Let me open up John's mic.
By 93.10.
There you go. Your mic's wide open, John.
Hey, John,
Hi.
welcome to the show.
Well, it's been a wild day so far today.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite interesting because I think one of our listeners, a very astute guy who retweets me a lot, which is nice. Thank you very much. You know, we went long the VIXs yesterday afternoon into the close. We actually got long near the 41.05. I think we had a buy. We might have even had one a little bit below in the 40s, 40.85. I think was close to the low. A friend of mine who's a very sophisticated trader bought some 40 calls at $1.30, kind of in line with our own advice, and that got up to about 3, possibly even a bit more this morning, about 3 plus. So it was almost a triple. You know, I'm not sure if it got to 4, but pretty good trade. We sold the VIXs at the highs. We nailed the lows of the market today. And I just, it's funny because the same gentleman who retweeted some of my tweets asked me if, you know, what's the chance of a 87 repeat. And so I kind of laid that out in about 4 or 5 tweets. And just as I was finishing my dissertation, I put a buy out on the market just before this rally started, right down like a 65, I think it was on the NASDAQ or somewhere like that, you know, off the early lows as well. And I said we'd probably rally into lunch or maybe into 2 o'clock. And actually I mean, you know, I kind of made a bit of a joke and said the plunge protection team were late to work this morning. And they finally got fired up trying to turn this market back up. And then I think the second thing I said was the Fed chief probably made a panic call and said, get this market turned up fast, you know, because it really was starting to look like 87. And what happened in 87 was on the Wednesday, you know, October 87 is a little bit like, or May 2018 is a little like October 87. It's sort of been down since the beginning of the month. And in October, it took 2 weeks. Hang on a second, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You still there, Mike? Bert said that he was on the phone and that he'll try to pop in as soon as he can. So let me open the chat box.
Sorry.
Maybe someone else in here knows the answer to this puzzle. Go ahead, John.
Here's the thing. Look, if May is like 87, it could take another week. You know, we could be in a slow mode decline. Like, you know, we've been having these sharp rallies and then we've been selling off. So, you know, it could be played out in a steeper way, or it could get nipped in the bud, and it could even turn positive today because it's starting to look like it might do that. You know, we've cut 200 points in losses off the Dow. We're only down 90 now. We're only down 9 points on the S&P, and we're only down 14 on the NASDAQ. So that's a huge deal. You know, in terms of, I mean, we're only down 40 in the NASDAQ. If we go positive on the NASDAQ, it could drag the rest of the markets up. And by the way, the semiconductors opened very badly this morning because NXP, I think semiconductors was down dramatically, and that seems to have gotten brushed off. And by the way, stay long because this rally is really strong. I said it was a quality rally, quality strength, and it's pushing to new highs right now. So stay out of the VIXs, sell the VIXs. We might be buying them lower, but right now we don't want to be. So just stick with the long side. This is something special, this rally. Something pretty big has happened to make this rally go. I mean, we're only down 40 on the day. Holy mackerel, look at that. This is big. So so anyway, on the Wednesday, we lost 60 points back in 87. That's about 600 points. So we lost what, a couple of hundred points yesterday. Thursday, we lost something like 60 points again. So, we'd have to be down 600 points today to be going into a kind of an 87 scenario, is basically what I said, and maybe 700 points tomorrow. So we're nowhere near that anymore, thank God. Right. And look, this could be it. You can, as I said this morning, you can never underestimate the capacity of this market to come back from the brink and totally surprise on the upside. Because this was almost unthinkable about an hour ago, this rally. So it's just, and the fact that we're rallying up so strongly and have negated the last hour of very bad losses is really very, very, very impressive. So this is what bottoms are made of, reversals like this. So the VIX, while it looked like it was potentially set to go to the moon, the fact of the matter is the VIX has been kind of hobbled here. For most of the last few weeks, it's been really unable to get up above 43 or 44 much, and has tended to get hit down. The fact that it's hitting, we held it overnight. We sold it this morning. Actually shorted AIG this morning at the open and covered it lower near the lows for a nice early profit. The dusts. We sold the golds near the high this morning and the metals, because the golds, especially with this rally now, the golds might be vulnerable to another test, possibly down to 12.95. It's not a certainty by any means, because I got to tell you, the golds acted really well overnight, all things considered. And the news, as we sort of said yesterday, if they don't raise rates, it really is a kind of a potential positive for the metals. Now, the other thing is we did sell the dollar a short while ago up around 92.45 or so, and it's down to 92.28. The dollar may be cracking here. This has been a short covering rally, a short squeeze rally, and I put out a buy on the currencies. The currencies are rallying quite across the board right now. They're very, they've had a really good correction, and this could be the beginning of another big move up in the currencies, which obviously is going to be good for gold. And we're starting to get a little bit of a buy here on the gold, again at 13.5. So, and the silver is holding up quite well. And we're starting to, we've had 2 or 3 instances now where the silver has not made a lower low where gold has, including the last half hour or so. That's pretty important. The platinum, is actually don't think it made a new decade low, which is significant. It's starting to get some strength here. All we need now is the palladium to kick in, and we could possibly have a pretty strong rally in the metals this afternoon. So the gold stocks have pulled back. They are positive on the day now. So I would definitely want to be long these golds if we turn up in the afternoon and sort of strengthen up before the close. I think that would be a good thing. And remember what we said about GOLD, which was the dog of the last couple of months, where it was down making lower lows, went down to about 70, 79, 78, somewhere like that. It's actually outperforming now on the upside. It's up to, it hit 83 this morning. So if you'd sort of bit the bullet like we actually suggested and bought in around 79 or low, you'd be $4 up right now on this gold. So pretty impressive. And Royal Gold, on the other hand, which has been leading the market higher, has sort of cracked this morning and not acting so great. So we actually put a great buy out this morning at about 86.80, and we sold it $1 higher, about 86.70. And it's come back to 87.70. Sorry, 88.70. It's come back to 87.70. Maybe starting to go back to a buy here if we turn up this afternoon. So but right now the dusts are regaining their strength that happened late yesterday afternoon. The dusts are still a little bit dangerous because if they go back to if the dust goes back to 24 today, you'll have a very powerful double bottom in the dust that could push them up for one more rally. That could coincide with a bottom in gold, possibly over the next few days.
Hey, John.
Going into the weekend or something. Sorry.
Can I interrupt you for just 1 second? Bert popped in here for a second, and I need to ask him a quick question. Bert, you there?
Sure.
Bert?
Yeah, what you got, Dwayne?
Hey, buddy. Listen, volume's starting to pick up on this Bitcoin contract, and so I put out a tweet last night, and I put it on the blog. Consider buying 93.10, first target 93.45, second target 94.60. Now, that's 150 points or ticks. Now, we studied this the other day, and we tried to figure it out on our own, but now I had to call in the big guns, you. If you look at one contract is 5 Bitcoin, okay? And the minimum fluctuation is $25 per tick.
Right.
So
I think if you keep it simple and say it's $5 a point, every tick, that'll keep it simple. So if you went from 45...
Here's the DOM. See, it goes 96.35, 96.40, 96.45. So what you're saying is I should take that 150, multiply it times 5, which would give me... So this would be a $750 per contract move.
Yeah, so what was the starting point? 93.10?
93.10, first target 93.45, and the final target 94.60.
Times 5. I agree. Correct.
Okay, well that's okay. So from now on, we just go $1 a tick. Even though this goes in 5 tick increments, if we say $1 a tick, we'll know exactly where we stand.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
and then
guys,
the one that's really active is the other one, which is the other Bitcoin that trades at the CBOE. There's more liquidity in that one, and it's 1/5 the size of the big. So
now, I don't have access to that on this platform, do I?
No, they don't allow it on demos. That's the thing.
Okay. Can you tell me the symbol?
I can tell you the DT Pro symbol.
Well, let me just type in Bitcoin Futures. This thing's could be pretty forgiving. Bitcoin Futures, BTC.
That's the CME one.
Yeah, what's the other one called?
The same thing. I have it called CFE, Bitcoin Futures.
Try
that one.
CFE.
Yeah. Bitcoin Futures.
CFE. Bitcoin.
Yeah, try that.
Futures.
Try that GBT. I would try. Try that one.
Bitcoin Investment
1530.
Trust.
Yeah, I have.
What do you have?
That's on it.
Yeah, because I think
symbol on DT Pro is XBT.
let me try that. XBT. Bitcoin US Dollar Index, XBT USD, BitMEX, Kraken. I don't see anything yet. I don't see.
Oh, nothing.
We go
CBOE.
just futures, and let me type in. Let me just type in BTC.
Oh, hey, hold on. I think no, that's the CME. Let's try that again. Type in Bitcoin. All right, stop right there.
There
BG.
we go. BG.
Yeah.
Okay, and we would be BG1 or BG2?
That's one would be front month. So I would go with 1. My gut feeling with that would be K.
Okay, so this is the other Bitcoin futures contract. And how many contracts are they trading a day?
That one, I mean, today it's 2,000 contracts. The one that the CME only had about 85.
Really?
And
because yesterday they had about
so
1,800.
On the CME?
Uh-huh.
Oh, then I would say, yeah, it's growing in popularity then.
Yeah.
The one that's really been, took hold was the other guy that's only $1 a point.
Look at this. Look at this, Bert. Bullish cross. Price pulls away. Price pulls back. Up close. Bang, bang,
Yep.
bang. A chart's a chart's a chart. Okay, thanks so much. I know you're busy, but I really and you're welcome to hang out with us. We'd love that. But if you got to go, I understand. But thanks for clarifying that. So now we can really start taking a look at this thing.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
And Bert, you know John, right? You guys have talked, right?
John
Hello,
Rarick?
Bert. How are you doing?
Yes, yes.
Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you, Bert.
Yeah. John, you called on the line and we dispatched you in, and now you just got a direct line.
Yeah, we're bypassing you, but thanks for the thanks for the periodic emails that you sent.
Yeah,
me.
no sweat.
Yeah, and you
no
know what,
problem.
Bert? Any time that you could come in and hang out with John and I for a bit and shoot the breeze and talk about the markets, we'd love it.
Yeah, no sweat.
All
I'd
right,
be
buddy.
happy to do that.
Okay, and,
All right,
and,
see you
and
guys.
well, all right, love you, man. Bye. All right,
See
go
you.
ahead, John.
You too.
Yeah, so you know what we've got to be a little bit careful of is this. While we've had a meteoric rebound here, you know, to all intents and purposes, you know, sometimes this could be a suck-in move that might still come unraveled. So just you got to be very, very careful. But right now it looks pretty good, and I think it's still a buy dip situation. But I would you know, the previous stops apply underneath, and we just sold it up to 66.45 on the Nasdaq, and now it's 66.630, and might be in for a bit of a pullback here because the VIXs actually are on a buy, and they're looking like they could you know, derail the market again a bit. So you know, we've seen all kinds of things happen in these markets. You know, we have had these rebounds back to nearly positive, and then they've been disappointed again. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
A couple of other things. Look, we've been, you know, we've gone on about the wheat. You know, we've really done a hell of a job staying long the wheat and buying the dips.
Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. And I was just sitting here waiting for that thing to flip over and turn red. And now we go again.
Yeah.
We had a 6-point move, a 30-point move, and now we're going to get some kind of move.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, it does look. I mean, this when you get a reversal like what you're looking at right now. I mean, it is a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah.
So you know, it you know, it could come back to about 26.16 maybe, or you know, somewhere around there. And if it holds and starts moving higher, this market could finish the day in the 2630s or even more, and potentially could start taking out those higher levels in the next couple of days if we avert you know, a worse kind of an outcome. Mm-hmm. So but the world in the meantime, you know, one of the things that you need to keep an eye on is the commodities are gravitating higher. They're 2 years, they're multi-year highs on a potential breakout, and probably helped by this rebound in the metals. The silver has been outperforming gold here in the last few days, so the silver gold ratio is improving. That's generally pretty bullish. And look at Newmont. Newmont's the strongest gold stock today. That's usually a pretty good sign. And you know, with gold as well, GOLD is also strong, very strong, but it's off the highs, whereas Newmont is pretty much at the highs. So you know, but further to what I said a while ago, the metals don't appear to be playing along just now. They're still a bit on the weakish side, and when the market's rallying up this strongly, that sometimes happens. You know, when the market sort of recovers from a near-death experience like it had this earlier on, it sometimes more often than not it can hurt, you know, affect the gold. Now, when the gold and the market are going up together, that's usually very, very bullish, because it means that the Fed are probably printing money or something. So you know, we're not seeing that just yet today, but you know, I got to tell you, I'm pretty encouraged that the gold didn't tank overnight, and
do you think this new Fed would print the money?
Well, look, if we do have, look, I would say the risk in this month is still to the middle of the month, or even towards the third week. So even though we're getting a great rally today, we're not out of trouble. I got a real strong feeling Trump's going to fire the Rosenstein and Mueller here in the next week or two. And obviously, if he does that, you know, you're going to see a market down thousands of points. And I really think he's going to do it, because I think he's just had a gut full of the whole thing, and he's just, you know, you know, we found out now in the last day, 24 hours or so, that, you know, he actually offered Rudy the Attorney General's job, and he turned it down. So that and he regrets that he turned it down. So it's you know, maybe he offered the job to Kallstrom too, and maybe he turned it down. But obviously, if those two guys were running the show right now, the world would be totally different, and not this kind of democratic run institutions. By the way, I've come up with another, like my little AIM theory, which you know, has yet to kick in. But that may happen in the next few weeks. I've come up with another kind of a little quip, if you like, that makes a lot of sense and kind of personifies what's going on, you know, in the deep state. Remember the movie, the James Bond movie, Quantum of Solace?
Oh, you know, I don't. That one doesn't ring a bell.
No, that was a couple of movies ago. Quantum of Solace. I think a good description of what's going on in the world right now is a quantum of evil. You can, and it's a pretty good description for the kind of the amount of evil that's going on behind the scenes, and is just sickening.
You're talking other than Hillary, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the democratic, the whole democratic thing. You know, the whole rottenness of the whole thing right from the get-go. And I said a long time ago, you know, I said the truth would come out with Trump. Look, we know he exaggerates a lot, and he's but how much truth has come out? Look at what I mean. You know, almost the top 10 leadership of the FBI is in trouble in one sense or another, either being fired or about to be fired. I mean, it's a pretty bad situation. It's never happened in history. And you know, Pompeo's done a phenomenal job, you know, for the CIA, you know, keeping them out of it, if you like, and pretty clean in spite of the previous leadership. And you know, these other agencies, you know, and all these guys like Brennan and Clapper and Hayden are all, you know, starting to be caught in all kinds of lies, and it's a pretty grim situation. And you know, I said a long time ago, I think when Trump saw these people in these briefings, he kind of said, you know, God Almighty, who the hell's been running the show, you know, in the last few years? I mean, I think he was just dismayed at everything that was going on, and you know, gradually it's hopefully it's all going to be cleaned up. And maybe these people are going to be exposed in ways, because they're all covering, you know, it's all CYA, because Obama's the puppet master and the architect of the whole thing. It's pretty obvious. That's why the FBI and the Justice Department are covering everything up, and they won't give out the information, because it all leads to the top.
Yeah.
And that's what's, you know, this whole thing is 10 times worse, and maybe 100 times worse than Watergate. It's I mean, you know, that not only did they try to, you know, influence the election in many different ways, but now they're actually trying to, you know, a coup, a kind of a deep state coup behind the scenes, you know, is what's going on here. And the lies that are being perpetrated are just mind-boggling.
So on the world stage,
I mean, look, you don't have to hear from me. Just look, Joe DeGeneres, from former district attorney for Washington D.C. And this is one of the highest, you know, ranking prosecutors in the business. I mean, you just have to listen to him, and he pretty much sums it up. And you got a former director of the FBI, deputy assistant director of the FBI. I mean, these guys are telling the story on TV to millions of people every day, and they're very honorable people, and they're telling it like it is.
Yeah. How did this thing get so convoluted? I mean, don't we have? Shouldn't there be something in place? This guy, now Nixon, at the end of his run, I mean, they got caught red-handed. It was kind of, it's a whole different story. Bill Clinton, with his activities as a married man and president of the United States in the White House and the Oval Office, and I completely lost my taste for cigars. Now, here's the deal. All that somehow, this is nothing like that. But as you just said, this has somehow become far bigger than either one of those things.
Exactly. And, the tragedy of it all is, the things that Trump is doing in spite of it all. What he's accomplished is staggering. And, because, I mean, look, the list grows more and more every day of good things that are happening. The getting rid of regulations is massive. The impact of the tax cuts are being felt, and are going to continue to be felt for decades, years or decades to come. That's what people don't understand. And tax cuts are tax cuts, and they're definitely going to help companies. The employment situation couldn't be any better than it is. We're making new 50, 60-year lows and almost record lows in all kinds of employment sectors. Now, that's obviously not an eternal thing, and there is a risk in that. But there is a pretty good chance, given where we are today, that we're good for growth for the next 6 months at least through the election. And look, the indicators, we're creeping up on the people who think the country's going in the right direction. That's now 41%. That gets up to 45%. That's on a kind of or 50% even. If it gets to 50%, it's almost a guarantee re-election for the Republicans. And if we get to 60%, it could be unheard of. So, in 6 months' time, it could be at 60%. It's something you can't rule out. We could be growing at 4 or 5%. Remember, Trump's created more than 3 million jobs. That's 3 million votes for Republicans for Trump. You got all the military. He's got the military behind him like nobody else. And the black statistics are actually a lot worse than you think. I mean, can you believe the previous 2 elections ago, there were only 4% blacks voted for Republican. The last election was 6%, and Trump is kind of hitting all-time records. 8% of blacks voted for Trump. That's got to be higher now today than it might be 12. So if they get to 12% or 15% and maybe 20%, and maybe this Kanye guy, people are every single black in the world is kind of paying attention to what he said. Whether
now, is he back down? Did he have some kind of meltdown? I heard something, and
look,
what happened?
What they need truth out about slavery, because they need to know that the Democrats were the slave masters.
were behind it. It was in Hillary's America in the movie. God,
they were the slave masters, and the Republicans got to get the message out, and they have to. I think the Republicans have to change the name of the party to Progressive or something, because to the Progress Party, because it's sort of we live in half of these guys think, well, democracy, America's supposed to be the 1,000 points of light high on the hill, the pinnacle of democracy in the world, and you say, oh, I better vote for a Democrat, Whereas if there was the Progress Party, I'm going to vote for Progress. I mean, it could be a kind of a mind change or a mindset change that could have profound implications. And listen, if they only get to 20% of the black vote, it's a total and utter game changer. And if they do the same with the Hispanics, it's the same. And this whole thing about thinking that an immigrant vote is automatically a Democratic vote. That's not necessarily the case. There's more and more Democrats voting Republican today I mean, Mexico is the same way. You know, the conservatives have been winning elections in Mexico, not the kind of liberals and the left wing, and that's what they don't get. That, you know, you only have to listen to a guy like Dan Pena, you know, who's one of the most successful immigrants of all time, lives in a castle in Scotland and is a huge Trump backer. And this guy is, he came from nothing, and he's built an unbelievable fortune, and he's supposedly generated about $50 billion worth of business through all the good work that he's been doing. He's really an incredible guy, and he is the model for the immigrant. It's just like Cesar, the fellow who did the dog whisperer, you know.
Yeah, that guy's pretty. I've seen that show a few times.
Yeah, I mean, look, this guy came across the border in Tijuana just like everybody else, and
I did not know that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was an illegal immigrant, and he got lucky. You know, he started looking after people's pets, and then he started doing it for a few movie stars, and that's how he got his fame. And he obviously got sorted out immigration wise and got legal. But I mean, he's the immigrant dream. I mean, he's really one of the most successful immigrants in the business, and he, like many of you, I mean, look at the guy who's running Univision. I mean, and some of these huge enterprises, Hispanic. The Hispanics are getting pretty rich these days, and the same in Mexico. I mean, there's the entertainment industry in Mexico is huge, and there's mega millionaires in Mexico in the entertainment business, and the Hispanic entertainment industry in the U.S. is gigantic. I mean, look at Jennifer Lopez and people like her,
Yeah. And I was flipping through the channels not too long ago, and I stumbled across the Mexican. I think it was the equivalent of like the Grammys, not the Grammys, but the Emmys or something, the Oscars.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. It's
quite
huge.
a big deal.
Yeah. So, and it's, look, these immigration waves, just like the the Cubans, the people who came in the boat lift in the 1960s. I mean, these people are the sort of higher echelon of society in Miami right now, and even the Haitians, are at a level in the U.S. And whether you saw Shark Tank, there was a great Shark Tank set on earlier on last year, I think, when J-Rod was on the show.
Yeah, A-Rod.
Yeah, and A-Rod, sorry. J-Lo and A-Rod.
Right.
Yeah. And this guy from the Dominican Republic came on, and he invented this fingerprint padlock, which has become a massive, huge success.
Mm-hmm.
And, he did it all himself, and he didn't, and it was a very emotional show because A-Rod was on the show with him, and this guy was practically crying when he got a deal with the richest shark, the Mr. Wonderful.
Right. Well, no, the other one on the end there, he's the richest one. Cuban.
Yeah, Mark Cuban. Cuban, right? Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
gosh, what a piece of work. But anyway.
But that fingerprint padlock is really it's an idea whose time had come, obviously. So and it took a Dominican guy to think of it, which is pretty amazing, and put it all together. Actually, the Dominican Republic is very underestimated country and population. First of all, it's a fantastic place, to visit. They got some incredible beaches there. Punta Cana is one of the most sensational.
There's a comment here from the audience from RJ. He says the next NFL expansion would be served well to put a team in Mexico City.
No, he's 100% right. I mean, you know what? You know where the highest attendance in the world record is? It's in Mexico City. It's the Azteca Stadium. I think they had one attendance was about 116,000 people.
Does anyone in Mexico know how to play our kind of football?
Oh yeah. They have teams, and
Okay.
but look, the most incredible development, which you may not know about, is this guy Khan, who owns the Jaguars. He wants to buy Wembley Stadium from the Football Association for $1 billion in London, and he wants to turn it into the NFL, an NFL stadium to have games. Yeah.
Wow. RJ also said that the Spanish broadcast rights to the States would be huge. But yeah, go ahead. I haven't heard this about the UK.
Well, so this is a totally brilliant idea because it's when you take England, you've got to throw in a lot of the Europeans, so it's sort of an NFL base in Europe that could become the biggest franchise in the world, because this guy's opening up a whole new market that fills Wembley Stadium to the brim. It's like 100,000 people. So it's a brilliant idea because Wembley Stadium is mainly a soccer stadium, but by making an NFL stadium, he's going to be getting monstrous revenues, right? He's going to be doubling the potential of the stadium in terms of, maybe tripling it in terms of revenues, and filling the stadium every, a lot more than it's being filled right now. Wembley's pretty famous for all kinds of different events, pop events and things like that. And it's a brand new stadium, state of the art, so it's got a huge amount going for it. And the other interesting thing is that the Mexican soccer team plays more these days in the U.S. than it does in Mexico. Most of the international matches that have been played over the last year have all been played in the U.S. because the audience is there. They fill up stadiums like in Los Angeles and in all the big stadiums in the U.S. are filled to capacity whenever the Mexican team plays, which is extraordinary.
Interesting. I had no idea that the NFL was planning. And is this something the NFL is thinking about, moving outside of the U.S. with these teams?
Well,
I'm not a sports guy by any stretch.
I think they are. I think they are. And
well, it means more money for everybody.
It's kind of a whole. There's so much enthusiasm because the American football, goes to London. It's a really big deal. Everybody from the mayor down is kind of getting in on the game, and London sort of goes NFL for the weekend, and it's the same in Mexico City. And it's the same with the Grand Prix. That just came out a couple of days ago. They're talking about putting another Grand Prix, Formula One, in Miami. So you could have 2 or even 3 Formula One events in the U.S. during the calendar year, because the audience is there, and the audience. And I mean, 3 or 4 years ago when they started racing, or 5 or 6 years ago when they started racing in China, they had trouble filling the stadiums, right? Or the stands. The last Grand Prix they just had recently was packed to capacity, some of the biggest attendance ever. And it's the same in Mexico. Mexico has managed to. They've been sold out 3 years in a row for the Formula One Grand Prix. More than they're struggling in England to make money out of Silverstone for the attendance, right? And yet, in the new world, they're sold out. You can't get tickets. It's amazing.
Interesting. So what else you got down here in the chat box? Is Ed coming on a day, or is it his week off? If I'm not mistaken, last week was Ed's day, and it slipped my mind, and now I'm realizing I haven't heard from Ed in a couple weeks, and that's very, very, very unlike Ed. The last time he was here was on the 12th. I'm going to shoot a text message and see if he responds. it seems like I remember him telling me something about he had a couple things coming up that might take him away for a couple weeks, but I just sent him a text message. If he's within range, he'll answer me back. And maybe he's in the audience. Ed, you there? Type a message in, brother. That's the reason they're building the new stadium in LA, is to spend to the south. Okay, and Maria, if I hear back, I'll let you know. RJ says, no, but they played a couple of exhibitions in Mexico. They play once a year in London, and they do want to expand to Europe. Okay.
Yeah. But I think this guy, you know, Jaguarona, has seized the initiative here into a whole new realm of possibilities that a lot of people have, you know, just kind of totally.
We expanded to Telemundo, so there you go.
Well, look, I mean, the Brits are, you know, there's an uproar in England because the FA, the football, is selling out the NFL. I mean, it's like a national discussion going on right now over it, because they're selling out football and all the rest of it. And in the meantime, what's going on in the US in soccer is mind-boggling, because I mean, you got two first-class, world-class teams in Los Angeles now. You got this new team, LAFC and LA Galaxy. And I mean, these are teams that are capable of beating, you know, Real Madrid or Manchester United. They got some star players in them, and it's really starting to become a big deal now. And when Beckham gets the Miami team going, and a few others, I mean, there's probably going to be about 30 or more teams in the US, and that's a lot of games. You know, that's in the year. And there, most, you know, look, not all of the stadiums are packed to capacity, but they're getting more and more full every year.
Yeah, Brad says that the NFL and the World League tried unsuccessfully to expand to Europe in the 90s.
Well, you know, sometimes things happen ahead of, you know, prematurely. But these days, you know, I mean, watching an NFL game today compared to the 90s is like watching in black and white, you know, versus color.
Oh, my goodness, you see the beads of sweat on their forehead. I mean, they look like they're going to drip off the screen.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, the technology and the HD and everything, and 4K and 8K displays are just so fantastic these days. You know, you're really in the game. You know, when you got a big, you know, huge screen and you got a whole bunch of guys, you know, having a party. It's a lot of fun. And you know, some of the games, I mean, listen, the last few Super Bowls have been fantastic. They've been gripping games, you know, really incredible games the last few years. For people who are not normally kind of, you know, NFL fans.
Oh yeah, some people tune in to the Super Bowl just for the commercials and the halftime show.
Yeah. But
not so much the commercials anymore, because they make the commercials available on the internet now before the game. And if I were paying that kind of money to advertise, I don't think I would want it leaked on the internet. I would want people. You
know, we've been consolidating, Dwayne, on the markets. It looks like it's going. Look, we're already positive on the Nasdaq now, and then the Dow and the S&P looks like it's going to go positive. So
can you see my gold chart right here?
Yeah.
Last night it was said to buy 13.13. It ran up to 13.19, so $600 per contract. Now it just got back below the trigger, and it looks like it might want to run again.
Yeah, it's kind of a dynamic-looking market, and the silver. Look at the silver. It's actually. I'd agree with you. We're on a buy here, definitely. Yeah.
Now back to the S&P.
And the VIXs are on a sell still. So.
Okay, this attempt. Now we did get down to. Let's see, what was the low here?
I mean, this is like a flag formation here now. So
we got 4 points out of that little thing, but it looks like it doesn't really want to go down. So
yeah.
There's a little something in there. 4 points. Anytime somebody can take 4 points out of the S&P, they're pretty happy. We don't get out at the swing lower, swing high, guys. If you're new to the show, we trail a stop. We teach our students to trail a stop, and if you trail a stop, you're going to always leave a little something on the table. So
yeah. So listen, thanks very much for the invite.
Oh, John, thank
really,
you. Appreciate you being
really
with us as always, and we'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Okay, much obliged. Have a great afternoon.
You
Much
too.
obliged. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okie doke. All right, just to recap here real quick, and we'll go to our good word for the day. On the S&P 500 Emini Futures, last night, the Concierge Trade Alert, if you didn't get a chance earlier in the show to grab your screenshot, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, last night, not only did the Concierge Trade Alert clients get the alerts, I sent them to everybody on our mailing list. I don't think I've ever done that before. I have sent emails that said, hey, look what happened last night, or what happened today based on last night's alerts, kind of thing. But as far as actually sending them out, I don't know. I was sitting here and I realized that I could do it if I wanted to, and sometimes you do stuff just because you can. So if you're on our mailing list, that means last night you got the Concierge Trade Alerts. Maybe it didn't come right to your inbox, maybe it got diverted, so just search for it. It came from support@cfrn.net, because I wanted you to actually wanted everybody to have the alerts in their inbox, and then be able to tune in today and watch the recap. And if you couldn't tune in live today, then you can certainly watch the video once it's posted over on youtube.com/CFRN. So the S&P on the long side, it gave up 2.25 points. Maybe it stopped you out. Then we triggered for 6 points. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. This time we dropped 30 plus S&P points at $50 a point. That's $1,500 per contract available. 30 times 50. $1,500 per contract available. Now, again, we don't get out at the swing high or swing low. Leave a little on the table, trailing that stop. And then it actually reached up, came back, gave up 4, and now it looks like it wants to make a run at this trigger, and that trigger is all about 2634. See what happens on the Dow. Stop out if you went long. We said to consider selling 23,745. We got a 45-point drop. Important prices, important areas, back above the trigger. This time we dropped 300 plus points at $5 a point. That's also $1,500 per contract available. On the Russell, we'll consider selling 1546. We'll stop out. Down we go, 15 points at $50 a point, $750 per contract available. And this one here is still sorting itself out. On the NQ, sell 6605. That could have stopped you out right there. Price gets back above the trigger, and down we go again. $1,300 per contract available. And we have not triggered on the long side. We certainly could. Keep your eye on 6670. On gold, we said to consider buying a 1313. We hit 1319 at 6 points at $100 a point, $600 per contract available. Back below the trigger, and it looks like we're getting ready to take another run at it. We've been talking for the last few days about a man named Jabez. That's that little coffee table book, late 90s, early 2000. If you were a evangelical, spirit-filled Christian, I think the Prayer of Jabez, the little coffee table book, had the ability to reach across all borders and barriers geographic, socioeconomic. I think everybody saw and possibly read the little book. Part 4, 1 Chronicles 4:10. That your hand would be with me. Yesterday we talked about Jabez's great ambition. Oh, please enlarge my territory. In other words, give me more. We talked about, is that okay? Can Christians really pray that prayer? I hope you picked up something from it. Not only did Jabez have great ambition, he also had a growing faith and a deep trust in God. He had enough faith to pray and expect an answer. He was like the pioneer missionary William Carey, who said this: expect great things from God and attempt great things for God. There's no mention of Jabez having any special ability or talent. The Bible doesn't say he was wealthy or an educated man. He was simply a common man with an uncommon faith. So don't worry about what you don't have, as long as you have faith. Because, you see, God has everything, and God will give you whatever's necessary to complete the task. He loves to use ordinary people who are willing to trust Him and see them succeed. Because the things of the foolish will confound the wise. That is written. Lots of super talented people sit on the sidelines, while ordinary people with faith score the goals and win the game. The good news, you can be one of them. Another interesting fact about Jabez is he apparently had some type of handicap or disability. How do we know? Well, the little thing hanging off of his rearview mirror. Just kidding. But no, seriously. Jabez apparently caused his mother so much grief during childbirth that she named him Jabez, which means painful. How would you like... Can you imagine growing up with that name? How would you like to go through life with that name? He may have been unwanted and unloved, but he was stronger than his handicap, and his faith kept him going. His eyes weren't on the past, they were on the future. He believed that if God blessed him, then his future would be greater than his past. What's your handicap? Is it physical? Is it spiritual? I mean, seriously, when things go wrong, what do you blame it on? An unhappy childhood? A frustrating job? A broken marriage? Now, those are all very real things, and I don't make light of any one of those. In fact, Paul, who wrote half the Bible practically, New Testament anyway, over half, he had a handicap, he had a disability, and he prayed twice that we know of for God to take it away, and God just said no. Because he knew who Paul had been, Saul, and he knew what Saul was capable of, and now that he had Paul walking on the right side of the street, I think he left that there to just kind of remind him. Read up on that. Whatever your reason is for the things you can't do or haven't done, physical, spiritual, childhood, job, marriage, whatever, Jesus said this in Mark 9:23. Everything is possible for one who believes. Mark 9:23. Everything is possible for one who believes. Now, Henry Ford said something along those same lines. He said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Ooh, Hank, that's good stuff. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Our thoughts become our actions, and our actions become our tomorrow. Literally, the world you're living in right now, wherever you are, I don't care if you're in your car, in the park, at your desk. The world you're living in right now, you created it with your thoughts, your words, and your actions every day behind you. And the thoughts, words, and actions that you express today, guess what? That's building your tomorrow, your next week, your next month, and your next year. So think about what you're thinking about, because that's where it all starts. Yes, we know that God spoke the world into existence. Probably made a loud noise. It probably sounded like a big bang or something. I don't know. But I'm going to guess that he thought about it before he spoke it and created it. Food for thought. Tonight, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, Partners Workshop. If you're a partner, I encourage you to be there. If you have questions, if you have trades you want us to look at, feel free to send us a screenshot to support@cfrn.net, or just email any question that you have. Once the workshop starts, we work our way through the emails first, and then we take live questions from everyone who is present in the room at the workshop. And so if you've been on the trial for the past week and you've decided that you want what we've got, Michael should have sent you an email already this week. If you don't have it, didn't get it, let us know. 949-42 Emini, 949-423-6464, or just email us support@cfrn.net. We'll make sure you get out the paperwork to you that you need to take care of, so that we can get you a user ID and a password and an invitation to the workshop tonight. All right, I'll see y'all there. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.